Well, hello there, sir. Is this your desk? Are you going to get some work done today? Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new. I'm so happy that you're here for today's video. We are going to be doing a little bit of just an update with some things that are going on in our personal lives, and then jumping right over to Target. I'm going to be sharing some Valentine's Day decor as well as some of the spring items, but still some cute winter things I feel like they had out at Target. We'll go through the Dollar Spot, Hearth in Hand, and Studio Mcgee. So I hope that y'all will stay tuned for that portion, and then I'll have a haul at the end of today's video. This video was originally going to be a Christmas de-decorate with me, but because of some events that happened this week, I have not felt mentally and emotionally just able to do that. So today I am going to share some very sad news that our family received this week. So jumping back just a little bit, a couple of weeks ago, my sweet grandpa had taken a fall at home, and he unfortunately was non-responsive when my grandma had woken up that day or when she found him. And he had been rushed to the hospital. He had broken 2 ribs, and they sent him home, which, if you knew the whole story, seems crazy that he was sent home, but he was sent home to only do the exact same thing the next day. He fell again, and same thing, and broke 2 more ribs, and just continued to go kind of on a downward spiral from there. It had been a couple of weeks in the hospital, maybe a week and a half to 2 weeks in the hospital. The first several days were really rough. He was incredibly confused and had developed an infection in his lungs. They were saying pneumonia, which can be common, I guess, as we're learning, in people who are elderly and have falls and have broken their ribs. So all of this happened. My dad, who's the only child of his that was local, would go in every day and check in on him and help my grandma get to spend some time with him. And unfortunately, just a couple of days ago, just took a very fast bad turn. We'd been given the news from the doctor that things were looking up, and they didn't see any reason why he wouldn't be able to go to rehab and then eventually back to the apartment or assisted living area that they were staying in, my grandma and grandpa. And unfortunately just got the news that he had passed. Just pretty quickly took a downward spiral, and yeah, so it has been a heartbreaking few days for our entire family, as you can imagine. I wanted to take a moment. I know none of you knew my grandpa, but I wanted to take a moment to share about him with y'all. If you are interested, please hang around. I would love that. If you're not and just want to go shopping, then skip on past this portion. My grandpa was truly just an extraordinary man. He lived an incredible life. His childhood years were definitely very challenging. He had an alcoholic dad who really just wasn't very great. And my grandpa would work as a young kid to put dinner on the table for his siblings, and weathered through so many things as a young child, but grew up to just do amazing things. He helped jumpstart an elementary school and was the first principal at that school, then became the dean of Illinois Wesleyan University, which is an incredible university back where we lived growing up. And he also is on the board of so many incredible organizations, from the St. Joe Hospital to the Baby Fold and United Way. I mean, so many that I don't even know. He truly made this world just a better place, and he left just such an impact and touched so many lives. And I'm so grateful to have had him as my grandpa. Growing up, my parents lived in the home that they still do now, and my grandparents lived right across the street. So I grew up going over to their home with my dad often. I mean, of course, as a family a lot, but with my dad and my sister. They had an in-ground swimming pool, so we spent literally every day of the summer growing up just going over there and swimming. My grandpa was known for us grandkids. We would be over there for meals all the time, and my grandpa would be like, "Are you sure you're going to eat all of that? Make sure." Like, there was absolutely no waste allowed, because obviously the way that he grew up, and that's just a great, thing to live by. But it was like so funny, because sometimes like we might grab more than we were going to eat, or maybe we like tried something and didn't like it and didn't want to finish it. And so my cousins and I would always be like at the cousins table, and we would be like just scheming and trying to figure out like who was gonna go like distract grandpa so that we could like throw our food away and him not see it, and just so many like fun memories. But grandpa's always just really invested in us. Gosh, just over the last few days, there's been so many tears. I waited to kind of compose myself before I came on here. And I just wanted, instead of this to be like a sad and sappy moment, I really just wanted it to be a moment of reflection and just like appreciation and honoring his life. One of my favorite things though, and just like a core memory with my grandpa, is the way that he has tried to just win my children over since day one. And he has done so with sweets and sugar. He has always had like a jar, like a candy jar out because of his diabetes, just something easy to access. And so as a child, I always remember the jelly bean jar that was in their living room in their old house across the street from my parents' house. And that was like the most exciting thing. Like the first thing you do when you get to Grandma and Grandpa's house is you run and you see what colors are available and grab your favorite jelly bean. So my grandpa carried that tradition on with my kids, and from the wee little age of probably 1, he started this with Luca, just kind of bribing him with sweets to get him to come to his chair where he would always sit. He had a green recliner, and that was his chair where he'd always sit. And so every year from then on, he has gifted my kids just a little Ziploc bag full of jelly beans, and thus my children only and have ever only referred to him as Jelly Bean Grandpa. I'm gonna put in a little video here for you to see just that sweet interaction. This was, I think, 2 years ago that this video was taken, but he did get to give the kids jelly beans this Christmas, and we cherish it. The day we found out he passed, Chad actually swung by a grocery store on the way home and brought home jelly beans, and of course we were all just like sobbing. And it was just a sweet way to celebrate his life and remember him.
The sun will shine on you wherever you go, wherever you go. And when it gets dark, stay strong. You're never alone. You're never alone. The sun will shine. The sun will
Okay, my friends, now we are at Target, and I was immediately just drawn to the dollar spot. There were so many cute Valentine's Day items. I loved all of the like muted pinks. They had some really pretty dishes as well, and just some great kitchen staple items, and then just like little knick-knacky decor items, some cute pillows that were all around $5, which is a great price for just seasonal pillows you're only going to be using for a month or less. Now, I don't typically do a lot of Valentine's Day decorating, but I really enjoyed walking through and just getting to see everything that was out. I'll share a little bit more about that in my haul at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. But I hope that y'all enjoy this little look at what the Target Dollar Spot had at my Target this week. After checking out the dollar spot, I headed over to the Hearth and Hand section, and I was pleasantly surprised with actually how much they had. Our Hearth and Hand at this particular Target location was bare for Christmas, so I was really happy to see some new things out. I loved this gold table lamp. I thought it was really pretty and would look so cute in our office. This calendar was also adorable. I love the pockets at the bottom, just super handy. And I wanted to take a second to ask y'all if you have read The Stories We Tell, which is Joanna's new book. I have not read it yet, but I am looking forward to sometime soon. I have a book stack on my nightstand that I need to get through first. But in the meantime, I started listening to her podcast, and it's also called The Stories We Tell. And she's interviewed her husband Chip, her sisters, her mom, and it's just really, really neat to learn more about her and her family and her background and her story and how she was raised, and just very, very interesting. So I highly recommend, if you're looking for something to listen to while you're driving or doing the dishes or laundry or on a walk or whatever it may be, it's definitely just an easy and entertaining listen. I loved all of the mirrors that they have out right now in Hearth and Hand. They're just simple. They've got that arch detail, and I think they're beautiful. I also love all of the dishes that she has out right now. I love the two-tone. I feel like it just adds some interest. I thought this large berry bowl with saucer was so cute and perfect for spring and summer. And I also loved the simplicity of those plates. Now moving over to all of the florals, which, to be honest, is what I was most excited about looking at. I am obsessed with this particular plant. I love the pot that it's in. It's just like a really pretty texture. It's got kind of a glaze on it, and it goes along really well with these beautiful bud vases. There are two different colors of these bud vases, and they were $7.99, which is a little bit on the pricier side, but I think they're adorable. Then I saw that she came out with a new watering can style. This one's very similar to the one that I have from a couple of springs ago, and I think that one's so cute. And I loved this plant spritzer. It was $20, which I felt like was a little bit pricey because it was pretty lightweight, but it was beautiful, so I may end up going back for that. I was just really trying not to grab too many things in this particular visit, but I loved the texture on all of these vases and just the whimsy of the plants. I love adding greenery into my decor. In the winter, I feel like it just livens up the space, even if it is faux greenery. And this little cutie was not in the right spot, but I do love the glass vase. I love the ribbed detail on it. And then I just wanted to show you that there are 2 sizes of this particular plant. And I think, is this the Gypsophilia? It might be. Just so pretty. I love them. And I loved all of the wreaths that they have out right now. Just, again, so much beautiful greenery. A lot of this is more spring decor, but, you know, sometimes you just gotta snatch it early before it's gone. I thought those door stops were really neat. I hadn't ever seen anything like that in the Hearth and Hand collection before, so that was a fun new addition. And I also loved, this is the Gypsophilia tree. It is so beautiful, but y'all, I have like 4 or 5 faux trees in my house right now. So I'm kind of feeling like if I get another, it's time to purge one. So I did not end up grabbing one yet. I do have this welcome home mat from a few seasons ago that is still in great shape. So I'm probably going to end up using that for the spring, although I really loved this one. I thought it was really delicate. I also loved the oil and vinegar dispensers. However, I really wish that the nozzles at the top were more of a gold instead of a copper. Little maple syrup pitcher. I think it wins the award for the cutest piece in the collection. It is so teeny and dainty, and I loved it. Moving on to the Studio Mcgee collection. Now, unfortunately, ours was pretty thin. Y'all, I'm wondering if I need to switch Targets. My Target used to be one of the best for home decor, and unfortunately, just as of the last maybe year or two, it has really been lacking. There is one about 30 minutes away from us that is just incredible when it comes to home selection. So I may end up having to take some trips out that way for just those days when I'm looking for multiple things. But I will say I loved this basket. It came in 2 different sizes, and I'm thinking about going back and grabbing the larger size to have at the base of our fireplace as a blanket basket. Now, there were just honestly so many random things randomly placed. It was very disorganized, but I loved this chair. This accent chair was like an olive green, and it was velvet. It was so incredibly soft. I did end up running to the back of the store because I wanted to get a couple of Valentine's gifts for my kids and their classmates before all of that stuff sells out. And I thought that the display was so adorable. I loved that they now have the gingerbread houses themed for Valentine's Day. Just so many cute things. I always love to make everything heart shaped on Valentine's Day. And they had some really great kitchen items and just little bakeware sets and things like that to be able to make that happen. And so I thought it was fun just to take a look over on this side of the store and see what they had available. Usually the spritz items are really affordably priced, and there's always some cute things over there. What a fun trip to Target. I will tell you, I really needed that. I needed to just get out of the house and kind of distract myself with something fun. And I hadn't been inside Target since before the holidays. So it was nice to just kind of go in and see everything freshened up. Speaking of the holidays, and I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, our house is still totally decorated for Christmas. I lightened up the living room in my last video and did some more winter decor in there, but our trees are still up, and to be honest with you, they're bringing me joy right now, and I'm not in a rush to put them down, but I do think that next week I'll probably do that, and I would probably say it's safe to say I'll film that. I know it's like pretty late and a lot of people have already taken theirs down, but I kind of like to be able to share like a blank slate and then bringing in that wintry decor, because of course some of my Christmas decor is going to double as winter decor, so we'll get to see all of that kind of play out in the next week or two. I do want to share my haul with y'all today, so we're going to start with this first piece. This one is so pretty. This is Threshold, and I actually didn't see this. I don't think I filmed this in the video. This was like in the wall decor area instead of like in the front where like the Threshold and Studio Mcgee is kind of mixed together. But I really wanted something fresh and simple to go over our or under our microwave above our stove. We have a little spot there, so I thought this would be really pretty to hang. And it was pretty affordable. Unfortunately, it doesn't say on the back of here. I don't remember exactly how much that was, but I would say definitely under $20. I did grab a couple of things from the dollar spot. This one was so precious. It was $5, and it's just a little berry bowl. You can tell that we put it to use the second that we brought it home, and this is like bringing this video full circle, but my grandma and grandpa always had grapes sitting out in a bowl on the kitchen counter. And I'm not gonna say that I will always do that, but I set these in here and just had that like memory just like right in my mind, and it just felt sweet. So love it. It's got some speckled little pattern on there, and it's a smooth finish. It's got a little handle, and I think it's super cute, and this is a great way for my kids to eat more fruit instead of heading into the pantry and grabbing granola bars and all of that, because they're always hungry 24/7 no matter how much they eat, and if I have fruit on the counter, they're gonna eat it. So I love that. I also grabbed this little tray I'm gonna be using in our bath, so I can put some soap on here, and it was $3. It also has that speckle kind of pattern on it, and it just honestly, it was such a great price. I know in the actual Hearth and Hand section I saw some little soap trays and they were like $10, so I felt like this was a steal, and I'm excited about that. You could also use it in your kitchen to put your soaps on if you wanted to do that. I only grabbed one of the beautiful potted plants at Target. I wanted them all. There was one in particular that I will pop up a picture on the screen here that just looked so amazing in person. But honestly, truly, I wanted them all. That is kind of my thing, my weakness. And so I really limited, I really restrained myself, and this is the one that I ended up purchasing. I have one really similar from last year that I just loved, and I was always moving it from room to room because I loved it so much. I do apologize for the wreath behind me that is kind of in the way of showing this to y'all, but I loved the handles on the side of the vase, and then just this kind of muted green color. I'm not a big fan of the artificial plants and stems that have more of that lime green finish to them. They're just like really bright, and I feel like it makes them look a little bit extra artificial. So I will play around with this one, make it a little bit more whimsical, but I really love this one. Okay, I grabbed two more things. One is a Valentine's item for my daughter for her bedroom. I did share all the Valentine's decor in this video. I just really I don't know. I've never been one to put out a lot of Valentine's decor. I'll tell you what I do though, is on Valentine's Day, just like as if it were my kids' birthdays, I do set up our breakfast nook area, and I always put like a cute tablecloth and banners out, maybe balloons, get the cute Valentine's plates, little Valentine's like goodie bags for them, gifts for them. So I do that. It's not that we don't celebrate, because we surely do. We love over here, but yeah, for me, it makes my space feel a little bit cluttered because the pinks and the reds are just not colors that I'm drawn to. However, my daughter totally is, and so we are decking out her room. Last year, I grabbed a banner, a big pink, one of those like foil balloons that says love. She has some cute Valentine's gnomes. So I'm decking out her space. And then of course, on Valentine's Day, we will have some cute decor out. So I grabbed this pillow for her room. I loved the muted pink heart. This actually goes with her bedding, and I feel like we could keep this out year round in her room just because it kind of goes with some of the other decor that she has. For $5, I felt like this was a steal. All right, the very last item that I ended up purchasing is going to be for our sunroom. Who knows, maybe it'll travel throughout our home. It's the cutest garden bench, so let me grab it. So it is this foldable garden seat, and I love this. It's super cute. I love the wood elements there. So beautiful. I feel like it just ties in so nicely with the rest of our house with this kind of like canvas lined seat. It's totally durable. We've sat on it, and it's nice and sturdy, I'll say that. So I love this. I also love that I can fold it up and store it if it's out of season, or if I'm not using it, or if I'm moving it. I love this so much. So if you follow me on Instagram, which if you don't, you totally should, it's at House Holm. I share more of the day-to-day behind the scenes type of stuff over on Instagram, and would love to have you follow along. But I did share that unfortunately our lime tree and our fiddly fig did not survive Christmas. So we traveled to Illinois to see family, and just honestly didn't even think about it. We're in the Carolinas, and usually it is like 60 degrees on Christmas. This was an unseasonably cold Christmas. Pretty much I feel like everywhere. It was in Illinois when we were visiting, but I also was here in North Carolina, and I tried to nurse those babies back to health, but it just was not happening. So we currently still have the lime tree potted. I'm still kind of attempting, because that one was a little bit more of an investment. That was a little bit more of an expensive tree. The fiddle leaf I got at IKEA, and it was not. It was very affordable, and so I actually am using the crock. And I am just going to use that to decorate with around my house. Who knows what's going to happen this spring. Not sure if Chad's going to be like super on board for bringing in more live plants. So we'll just see what happens. But all of that to say, now that corner in our sunroom is freed up, and I am putting this bench there, and you'll get to see it very soon, because we are definitely going to be doing, like I said, some de-decorating of Christmas and decorating for the winter. So I hope that you will stick around and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you if you watched the beginning half of this video. It truly means so much and warms my heart so much. I miss my grandpa more than I will ever be able to put into words, and yeah, he was just such an amazing man, and I wish each one of you could have had the opportunity to meet him. I know that he was a believer, and I'm so thankful that I get to spend eternity with him, and I am so looking forward to that reunion. And as our 8-year-old said that day that we found out, Mom, it's not all sad, because we know that we get to see Grandpa again, and all I can say is amen to that.